हेलो स्टूडेंट्स। आज हमारा टॉपिक है प्रोजेक्ट, यूज ऑफ statistical tools, developing projects in economics. First of all, we must know what is a statistical project. What is a statistical project, or what is a project? A statistical project is a statistical survey. Is basically a statistical survey on a particular subject. It is a statistical survey on a particular subject. So we can prepare any project on any subject after collection of statistical data. It produces qualitative results. It produces qualitative results. Results which are numerically expressed. So, statistical project produces qualitative results which are numerically expressed. So, statistical project is expressed numerically and analyze the facts about the subject. So it gives the numerical information about any subject and gives all the facts about the subject. A project is undertaken for a specific and predetermined purpose. A project is undertaken. Why a project is undertaken? A project is undertaken for a specific and predetermined purpose. For a predetermined purpose. The objective of survey must be clear and exact. The object that is objectivity, the purpose of the survey. The objective of the survey, that is survey about any project, any subject. The objective of survey must be clear and exact. It must be clear and exact. So there should not be any ambiguity about the objectivity and purpose. A proper and effective project requires properly developed questionnaire. So a proper and effective project, when we wish to have a project to collect the information about any subject, we need a properly developed questionnaire. A proper and effective project requires properly developed questionnaire. So to prepare a project, to make a project about any subject, we must have a good questionnaire. Now the question is, what is a questionnaire? What is a questionnaire? What is a questionnaire? Questionnaire. Questionnaire. What is a questionnaire? A questionnaire is a list of questions. A questionnaire is a questions, list of questions arranged in a systematic order. Arranged in a systematic order. So there must be a systematic and proper order of questions in a questionnaire. So what is a questionnaire? A questionnaire is a list of questions, a group of questions. Those questions are arranged in a proper and systematic order, prepared to get valid information. Why it is prepared? It is prepared to get valid information. Valid information. It is prepared to get valid information. A good questionnaire has following characteristics. Now we have the question here. What are the characteristics of a good questionnaire? Which questionnaire is called a good questionnaire? A good questionnaire must fulfill some characteristics, some features. Those we must understand and comprehend. What are the characteristics? Now, next question is, what are the characteristics of a questionnaire? What are the characteristics of a questionnaire? The next is characteristics of a questionnaire. Questionnaire is simply list of questions arranged in a systematic order. Arranged in a systematic order. So the next is characteristics of a good questionnaire. Of a good questionnaire. Characteristics of a good questionnaire. What are the characteristics of a good questionnaire? Questionnaire is simply a list of questions prepared for some predetermined purpose or valid information. First characteristic, main characteristic, questioners in the questionnaire should be few in number. Questioners should be few in number. So a questionnaire should not be so long, which can fed up the informants. So the informants can give easily the answers of the questions. They must be few. Questioners in the questionnaire must be few. Number two, questioners should be short, clear, and undoubtful. Questioners should be short, clear, and undoubtful. Undoubtful. They should not be doubtful. Undoubtful. Number third is questioners should be relevant to the field of survey. Questioners should be relevant to the field of survey. To the field of survey. This is one of the important characteristics. The questioners which are imposed or put in the questionnaire must be relevant to the subject. The subject for which we are going to collect the information, those questioners must be related to that very survey, that very subject. Number fourth is questioners should be easy to understand. Questioners in the questionnaire, questioners should be easy to understand. To understand. Number fifth, questionnaires should be easy to answer. Questionnaires should be easy to answer. So there should not be any problem in answering the questions. Questionnaires should be arranged in a proper order, logical sequence. Questionnaires should be arranged in a logical order, logical order, or logical order, or in the proper order. They must be arranged in the proper order. Number seventh is, for answers, adequate space should be provided. For answers, adequate space should be provided in the questionnaire. In the questionnaire. In the questionnaire, we must give adequate space in the questionnaire. Number eighth is, questions of prohibitive nature should be avoided. Questions of prohibitive nature. Prohibitive nature. Those questions which are not good in conscience, against the conscience of the informants, that they should be avoided. Questions of prohibitive nature should be avoided. They should not be included. Number ninth one is, the purpose of questionnaire must be clear to the informants. The purpose of questionnaire must be clear, to the informants. Those people who gives us information, they must be clear about the purpose of the questionnaire. Why these questions are imposed to me? What is the purpose of this survey? What is the purpose of preparation of this questionnaire? Why I am answering these questions? So the purpose of the questionnaire must be very clear to the informants. Informants are those persons who gives information to the investigator. So these are all the relevant and good characteristics of a good question. They must be few, questions must be few, short, clear, undoubtful, relevant to the field, easy to understand, easy to answer, arranged in a proper order or logical order. Space should be provided in the questionnaire for answers. Prohibitive nature questions should be avoided. The questionnaire, purpose of the questionnaire must be clear to the informants. These are some important and relevant characteristics of a good questionnaire. Thank you very much.